Hello and welcome to episode 28 of our Timberborn Update 7 Iron Teeth Project 1K playthrough here in cycle 53 day 12. 13 days left in our current bad tide. And we have a perfectly functioning bad tide diversion system right here. This might look like you just opened the inside of a furnace, but this is in fact a whole bunch of bad water just going harmlessly off the side of the map, while we have all of our clean water in here that you cannot see because this pipe is pressurized. So let's, peel this back a little bit. Just chilling, hanging out after it has been successfully protected right here. So, I think, based on some of the stuff you guys have been saying, it's probably going to be a smart idea during the next clean cycle to, put another sluice in right next to here, just so this area doesn't build up quite as much. Or alternatively, we just move this back and then do something else with our column here, because as we have discovered, and by we I mean I, because it seems like you guys knew this already, I don't actually have to have this offset because of how the diversion works. In fact, I don't even have to have a sluice set to separate the good water, because if we have enough outflow, then this pipe won't fill up at all. And we can just have this go straight up. Which, is a convenient thing, because it turns out we're going to rebuild this anyway. Because I forgot that I could build this out of dirt, because the bad water is always going to be separated at a lower level. And, that would make things a little bit easier, just a touch. So we'll consider that. But the main goal today, in the next 12, well, today in real life, not today in the Beaverland, because today in Beaverland is halfway over. You get the idea. 12 and a half days left of this bad tide. I want to build all of this part of this levee that we can as high as possible before we start moving. You guys call them cranes in the comments. The two-way bits. And we have 1,600 wood. We have these guys kind of running around doing other stuff. We have plenty of water storage. Plenty of things to take care of. But, we really need to be able to make use of this reservoir as soon as possible, so we can continue making things as good as they can be. So, that being said, let's just do this. Build as many walls as we can, all the way up, or as far up as we think we are going to be able to go. Which, for reference, is here for the maximum height. I don't want to have, I don't want to have this be the complete maximum height. So, if we just focus on having this being at least, I have to turn these things off, at least 6 deep, so we can have our pumps, the deep water pumps, just sit up on the top here. That would probably be fine. So if we just start by doing that for the time being, because we're going to be pumping a whole lot, I think that's going to be okay. The volume calculations have suggested that, this bit here, the 3 high, is substantially smaller than what we currently have, and that is correct. But this was never the final form anyway. So we will start out, for sure, by just going up to 6. And I know this is perhaps a little frustrating to watch, take some of this down, but it's gonna be okay. And we just need to make sure that these guys can keep building what they need to be building. There's also the issue of how are we going to irrigate the level below, but that's something we can solve at a little bit of a later time, because it is not going to be an issue we're going to need to deal with super quickly. Just need to make sure we're staying ahead of the curve. We don't have to be super far ahead, but we want to be far enough ahead where we're not going to give ourselves, a disadvantage in terms of accomplishing goals, if that makes sense. So, we're going to try to build around our pieces here. It's not always going to be possible, but whatever we can get put in place now is going to be the smart option. And of course, we can always just move these or remove them later. Not going to be a big deal. Yeah, just nice and easy like so. Keep in mind, this corner here is going to be removed once all of this is in place, because this will be irrigating all of this and all of this, because we figured out the radii, and everything should be working quite nicely. So, we can actually build this right now. It's not going to affect the irrigation that much. but we'll have to fill in the rest of everything. And they should be able to reach just about all of these with the tubeways in as they currently are. That'll give them something to chew on for the next little bit of time. Let's go triple speed and discuss a few other things you guys wanted to see fixed in today's episode. So, the mine is disconnected. Yes, very observant. We need to fix that, and the easiest thing for us to do right now is just to pop this in like so. Now that's accessible here. But don't forget, I did say last episode, and now I'm kind of regretting saying this, but I did say last episode that this episode, or I said actually last episode, next episode, which is this episode. Now my brain hurts. I was going to rebuild this thing the correct way as part of moving all of our industrial stuff out of this area so we can eventually turn this into more terrain, expand the reservoir, so on and so forth. That's going to take time. But we did start the process last time with 2 gear workshops and 2 industrial lumber mills up here. This is not the the most perfect implementation of this ever, but it does work, and that's fine. The rest of this is going to take a little bit more time and some actual thought. But while we are still here, a number of you asked if we could put in some two-way connections from these pumps, which are not permanent, but still, useful to have, into our water area here. So we already have this, and that's all well and good. I think it would be smartest for us to have this connect to the same two-way branch, and this is not one that's going to be removed anytime soon either. So, easiest thing for us to do, going to be to come in here and find a location upon which we can place one of our little deals, little doohickeys. Yeah, see, all of this definitely can go away. And that's going to give us an opportunity to kind of connect to this stuff here. Probably, see, I can't put anything here until this goes away. I trap myself with promises, and then I have to follow through on that. How inconvenient. Okay, where am I getting? Wow, that's a terrible way for me to say that. What am I going to do here? Because I have to be able to access the station here. They have to also be able to use it. Probably easiest, quickest solution for us is going to be to do something like this. And then I will go ahead and put this here because that just makes sense to get this all connected. So that'll help with that, and then I will give them a ladder so they can actually connect here. I think that is going to be our best option. So let's prioritize this. Just keep this a little bit better organized. They're already doing a lot of construction here. That's very nice to see. We have 4,500 water. And this is, wow, actually surprisingly emptier than I was hoping it would be at this stage, but that's fine. Life goes on. Okay, other stuff you guys wanted me to address is, people keep commenting about the lack of medical beds, but we only have 8 injured beavers, and I've got, 19 medical beds? It's going to be okay. I have 22. Yeah, this is not a problem. I don't know how that keeps coming up, but we're good. It's okay. I do also recognize that right now most of these things are paused, and that's probably why. See, it just went up to 9. But with 126 beavers, I don't think it's going to be an issue to only have 22 beds. We'll see. I'll build them when I need them, but right now, it's hard enough to find space for some stuff. I don't need to go borrowing trouble before I have to. So, continuing to build additional stuff up here. We already have the 2 industrial lumber mills and the 2 gear workshops. Metal would be one of the smarter things for us to bring up here next, but there's not really a good path because I kind of didn't plan for it. So, for the time being, it's going to be fine there. But in keeping with, the wood processing up here, I think what we can do is get our wood workshops put in place. We don't need them yet, but we're going to be glad we have them when the time comes if I just go ahead and pop this in here. So we have a couple of options. We can kind of rotate this. We can move the gear workshop out of the way, and we can rotate wood workshops here and here, which would still preserve access via paths, and do something else. I think that's probably going to be the smart thing to do, mostly because, well, we don't really need to be worried about wood workshops right now. And I think it just makes sense to kind of maximize what we're taking a look at. If I have a space here that I can put something like another one of these gear workshops. Remember, this is also not the permanent layout for this. I just want to move stuff up here, and then we can figure out how to make it look nice and scale for all of our other production, or downscale if we don't need it. Then worry about all this other stuff. So if I have something here that would connect power-wise, that would make sense. But it's probably going to be fine just to leave this like so right here and not worry about it, because we want to be able to have everything connected. We want to be able to have power, so on and so forth. Or, because, you know, these do take 250 HP apiece, I could just say, you know what? I'm going to put in an engine right here and just be done with it. That's fine as well. We just have to have access into here, which that will preserve no issues. Power shaft here. Vertical power shaft, no. I keep forgetting if these adapt to having stuff built on top of them or not, but at some point we'll probably want to connect that. Or, you know, big brain time. Ooh, yeah, what if we just did that? See? I can be smart. Sometimes. But I digress. This would be 800 HP. These two together are 500. These are, of course, it's not going to tell me when it's powered off. These are 75 each, so this is another 150, so that would be 650, and then this one by itself is another 120. So we're already at 770, which is just shy of what these two will produce. And presently, that is okay, but we will need some more gears, probably sometime pretty soon, so we will need to have additional power popped in place. But you know what we can do right next to this? That's right, we can put a gear workshop right across from the gear workshops. We have gear workshops on gear workshops on gear workshops. And you know what can go on the back side of this? I told you this is going to be ugly. But that just goes right in there. Yes, I know this does not need to be powered, but that's okay. Everything is going to work out just fine. And now I can put some other stuff here because this is connected with the platforms and the ladders and everything. See, you know, it's all right. It's going to be okay. Don't need to get super worried about it. So we've already outmoded this, and soon this and this, which leaves mostly explosives and food. And, of course, metal down here, but that has not been a tremendous issue. We've got a lot of dirt. We probably need to make more dirt storage because we're going to need a lot of it really quick to build the rest of this once we actually move things. But one step at a time. We'll take it as we can. I am actually really impressed at how quickly they've been able to build this. I was expecting it to be a huge issue. So, since we are still in the bad tide zone here, we aren't going to have water coming out of this, but I don't want to get rid of this until enough of this has gone away that it isn't an issue any longer. In fact, yeah, you see how quickly this is coming out? You know what we can do? I'm not going to put this levee out of its misery and replace it with terrain because this is still going to have bad water, but if this is just with the single thing here, we don't need to widen it at all. It's going to be totally fine if we go straight up. So, what that will mean is right here, I can just pop in terrain, all the way up, because this is separated, and then this whole column can just be disregarded. We can delete it at a later time. These impermeable floors don't need to be here. And neither do the overhangs. Oh, isn't that scary? Doesn't that just fill you with existential dread to see that stuff go away? Now, before we get too comfy, actually, let me take these away. How quickly I forget. This whole apparatus has to go, which does mean, unfortunately, we have to wait until after the bad tide is over. And it's going to be a little dicey, little floody over here. But we're going to be better off for it, because this is going to be so much simpler. I need to make sure what I can and cannot remove. Okay, I can actually build the whole back part of this without taking this out. So let's do the dang thing as best as we can. I know it's only just a few tiles high of terrain. to put this in here. But it's going to make a big difference in irrigating and making sure everything is, in fact, set up correctly. I just... wait, is this not the same... Okay, hold on. Just bear with me, folks. Okay, that is, in fact, on top of one of these overhangs. All right, so that does need to go away. But that doesn't mean we can't do this or this. We just bring that all the way up until it gets in the way here. Oh, that's actually... wow, I can't believe how easy that was. That was almost depressingly simple that I could have done this before and didn't do it. Oh boy. Well, regardless. This can just go all the way up. And then we just have to figure out how far over this is going to go. Remember, this is only going to be so high for us to have access to the top, so on and so forth. So this probably doesn't need to be this tall, nor could they access this. But I don't want to have to rebuild this whole structure again going over into the thing. So I think it's going to be smart for us to just do it right the first time, which will include, you know, having this mess taken care of. I don't know the best way to do this without spilling water everywhere, because we do have a very limited time during our temperate cycle. So, okay, maybe the best thing to do, I know this might upset some of you, but the best thing to do might be to just wait until we have a drought. It's going to be so much easier to do in a drought. So, I don't think we're going to be using this the next temperate cycle. So that's going to be a fun problem to solve. This is all dead and dying because why? This is still irrigate. Oh, because why am I asking when I already know the answer? Yeah, yeah, okay. I put these levees here. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a problem, but you know, it super is. Well, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But now the problem is we're out of wood. Unfortunate. But you know, that kind of works out, because we've already built most of this. We would have needed another several hundred wood to actually build the structure that goes over here. It's fine. It is what it is. How much water do we still have left in here to... Oh. So it's empty. Okay, well, we have 4 days. Leaving all of these pumps on, I think, is going to be the right choice. And not getting rid of this was the right choice now that we know we have to wait anyway. So what do we do instead? Well, let's relocate whatever we can so we can really start clearing this out. These are in place. This, I believe, is load-bearing for the purpose of power transmission, so that's okay to leave in for now. We just know that that's paused. That can be safely paused. It is kind of... Wait, no, that's not load-bearing at all, because now this doesn't even flow past the wheels. So this is completely irrelevant, except it's connecting dirt excavator to dirt excavator, but this is already connecting this, but it's also connecting to the outside here. Alright, bad water obviously being pumped out of here is kind of unavoidable, because that's where the bad water is. But as this gets redone, we might have an opportunity to place bad water pumps closer to the top here, where all of this is happening. So with that in mind, let's migrate a centrifuge up here in a spot that's going to make sense. See, I have... The 4x probably should go against the outside here if we're going to be trying to be space efficient. Again, this isn't the final thing. Well, I don't know, it might be, but I wasn't intending it to be the final thing. We can pause these once they're built, but we should build them. 2 smelters, honestly, is probably fine. We've done most of this with 1 or 2, and we're not going to need to have that much metal coming in. So, actually, before we do that, let's... Pausing the game helps me think. It's fine. Let's put those across there. Because I think I can put in some other building here that might make more sense. Actually, no. You know what? That doesn't matter. It's fine. We're not that hard up for space. I just need to make sure I have actual access to stuff. Because this cuts right through the middle here. That's okay. This can be another thing. Remember, this is all still connected. Right here would be a good spot to put some 2x2 stuff, which, as far as I know, is only just squelching. 2 oil presses. And we're also going to need to have storage and all that stuff in different places. This one engine is only going to be enough for us to run just these 2 additional smelters. We will need to add more engines. And we'll still be making power from this. It's my hope that we can, at the very least, double this. I don't think that's going to be too hard. I just want to kind of redo this. Obviously, take it up a lot higher, but use less land space. So what I had in mind, I know we're talking a whole lot, what I had in mind was to just kind of concentrate this into maybe half as long, but have it double back and obviously be a couple levels higher. Should generate a pretty decent amount of power. We're not going to run into issues with overflowing just because of, well, the flow rate and everything being fine. Actually, let's keep this on so I can monitor my... okay, power supply 1600, demand 840. 1090. Not all of these are operating because that's not finished, but it will be soon. See, now we don't have enough gears. So many problems. So little time. It's alright. We'll be okay. Just trying to accommodate for everything. And I know I said something about centrifuges, but I haven't built one yet. I needed to remember where the bad water comes up. Because since this is constantly flowing, we don't need to have a pool to access it. We just need to have space for probably 2 of those straws to come in, which I think could be accomplished. Oh, you know what would be funny? Just have 1 straw all the way down the hole and that be enough. As long as we don't need more than 3 bad water in per hour. You know, if we don't have to have a lot of dynamite, it might be doable. Because the explosives factory consumes every hour... Okay, I'm not going to make myself do math that much. Every hour, 1 deep bad water pump produces 3 bad water. So in 3 hours that it takes to make 1 explosives in 1 explosives factory, the same bad water pump will produce 9 bad water, and 1 of these would draw 5. And then centrifuge in 1 hour will draw 5 bad water to make 1 unit of, or to make 1.333 repeating units of extract. So we're going to need 2 pumps, but it's fine. Again, it's going to be okay. So I think we will just go with that. Like, this storage is full anyway, but I've had those pumps forever. All that being said, stop yapping and build it. You got it. I'm just going to plan to have 2 pumps either right here, or right here and right here, which would be... Okay, well, I can't build any more terrain yet until that gets taken care of, but I'm sorry, I keep going back and forth with this. Alright, the center of our thing here is at 0529, which is this thing right here. So this is where this will come up to, but it has to be 2 blocks, 3 blocks higher. So that's what we're working with. That's going to be where the hole is. There's going to be terrain here, hopefully. There's going to be terrain here, hopefully. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I got to put this on single speed or we're going to be in a world of hurt. Alright. So I can put this here and here, or I can put this here and here, neither of which I can build. If I put this on this side, I can have small tanks along the back, which, not the best option. But we're also not using enough of this to justify building giant tanks anyway, so let's go ahead and say that that's going to be fine. So we will know that I have to have a path here at the very least, and then that will fit there, which means I can have this meet up with this in any manner of my choosing. I have space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. I really don't think we're going to need to have any more than 2 of these wood workshops, 2 of these smelters, maybe. But also keep in mind, if we don't want to wait forever, we might as well just have the extra capacity and not use it. So, 3 hours for 1 plank versus 2 hours for... Okay. I'm going to choose to build 1 more smelter. I guess we can match our doorways. And then 2 more wood workshops, and that should be enough, hopefully. So then I will have space here for a tank, here for a tank, bad water, probably just 2 tanks for bad water, and then somewhere right around here we're going to want to have our centrifuge. Probably I'm only going to need 1. I don't think we're going to be needing to have huge quantities of extract, since that is mostly for breeding purposes, and these don't consume nearly as much as you might think. It's 5 extract for an entire growth cycle, which is several days, and we can make in a single centrifuge in 1 hour 1.33333 of that. So I think we're probably only ever going to need to have 1. If we need to have another one, it's not going to be that big of a deal, and I probably shouldn't be spending this much time even thinking about it anyway. So that's fine. But to get food scaling for 1,000 beavers, you know what? I think this math has actually been done. And I should really take a second here to look at my notes. Okay, yeah, oh, I just copy-pasted the whole comment in this document here so that I can actually read it. Okay. Wow, that's a lot more oil presses than I thought. Okay. So, moral of the story is, I shouldn't be feeling bad about building extra stuff. I'm going to build 1 more oil press for right now. Just so I'm trying to make sure everything connects. And then this can go here and be fine. Then this whole thing can go around this side, get all this connected. This isn't going to be power here, but that's fine. We can figure out how to get this popped in some other fashion, but for right now, this is going to be okay, and I need to stop worrying about it so we can actually get our stuff accomplished. But I show you the whole process, and nothing but the whole process, so I know you can appreciate that. Alright, where does that leave us now? We have 3,000 water, halfway through the final day of this bad tide. I'm feeling really good about our storage of food and water and the rate at which we can replenish them, but we still need to have that increase. I need more pumps. I don't have any space in this to build more pumps. I don't have the flexibility to build the rest of this to a place where it can fill this reservoir, nor is this reservoir ready to be filled in the first place. But that's fine, because I'm going to wait for a drought anyhow to get that taken care of. What we can do is we can make sure that this is fully accessible. Super convenient. We do have the tiny 2-way station here now closer to this, which means these guys can go at very fast speeds to fill these things up. We need to have these other tanks finished. I don't have enough gears, and they're not being produced quickly enough. But that will end up being fine eventually. I have extra beavers. Never mind. I'll just turn this gear workshop back on. There's no rule that says I can't have that on. That's fine. We'll just leave all of this except the wood workshops, because that's not necessary. Plank usage, I think, is because of construction. That shouldn't be a problem. This can safely be paused. Once these are finished, that's going to be paused. Oh, no gears. Yeah, okay. No surprise there. All that to say, most of this that isn't food related is now completely redundant. And that is a good problem to have. Let's get this sped through here. Get these guys storing more water so we can make some better informed choices about how we're going to handle the rest of this. Because I need this to be going as much as possible through the duration of our temperate cycle before I can get rid of it if we have a drought. If we don't have another drought, that's going to be a problem. But that's something we can figure out when the time comes. Cycle 54 begins. So, while we're waiting for this kind of to fill up a little bit again, okay, I think this is probably still fine. Wait a second. No. Oh, I know. You guys are going to absolutely just steamroll me for this. I forgot. Okay. I know. Your disappointment is immeasurable and your day is ruined. Just like report of the week with the was it the Popeyes something or other messed up his order and he was like just really mad about it. All right. What an interesting channel. We're rebuilding this again. I know. I know many of you are upset. The world is ending. So on and so forth. But it's okay. Because this isn't bad water. Let's put it back in. Let's put it back in. It's going to be fine. Going to be alright. This is why we were supposed to do this in a drought. And then my brain just said, you know what? Half of what you said is actually real. And the other half you can safely ignore. And then I got those two swapped. So it happens. But fortunately they can put this back really quick. And then this can actually, you know, go where it needs to go. And then we can move on with our lives and stop the suffering. Wow, look at all that water everywhere. That was, yeah. Hey, now that's problem solved. Get in here, get pumping. Ignore all the dead everything. Please unflood coffee bushes, please and thank you. Alright. See, I want to move all of this stuff, but I know we're not prepared for it. Okay, this that we have built now is adequate to supply what we are currently using. Obviously, we don't really have a great setup here yet, but we will. We'll get there. Baby steps. Baby steps. This mess is going to have to be... It's going to have to be a thing. I may not be able to do it this episode. I might have to take like a couple hours and mess around in the testing world to get that to happen. Look at all this water everywhere, man. What kind of idiot does this? Woo, that's a lot of water. Well, it'll evaporate soon. Hopefully. Okay, we have 138 beavers. We only have 11 pumps. This is too many beavers. How many of these pods do I have paused? Let's pause 3 of these. And by 3, I mean 9. Let's just pause all of these for a little bit and let our population cool down. Because it's too much. I'm trying to do too much at one time. Because I, frankly, get a little bit stressed out when I think about how slowly this has gone. And I know people want to see it go faster. But then bad things happen. And we don't want that. We also need more gears. I cannot believe how quickly the gears are going. Those are also not... oh, I don't have any gear storage up here. Yeah, that's not ideal. What am I supposed to do for gear storage? I don't have anywhere to put it. Ugh. Make good choices, kids. Just make good choices. I guess for right now, this is going to be fine for us to just put a gear storage up here. Just have to have something to do. Okay. Now that we've managed to... I got, like, my brain is in, like, 18 different spots right now. Let's take a second and look at the math that was done. Yeah, oh, good. We have a drought in 3 days. I really hope we can get our water pumped out quicker. I'm just looking just at the amount of oil presses required to have full food happiness for 1,000 beavers. I'm seeing 6. I'm seeing another 9, so we're at 15. I see another 9. 24. Anything else I need? 24 oil presses, man. See, this is actually, it's broken down really intelligently. I forget what episode this was commented on, but I do have it, and I am looking at it, just so we're all aware. We got a lot of stuff that's going to have to be planned up here, and is going to have to be multi-tiered and organized, and that is something I'm going to have to figure out by myself before we record it. Or else it's going to be just like this episode where bad stuff happens, but it's going to be okay. I just need to get these numbers down. This is going to take 32 days to fill at the current rate, which, you know, is super not ideal, but at least we have this all ready to go. We have capacity for almost 11,000 beavers. Beavers. Water. Not waters. Water is the correct term. There is no plural of water. What the heck am I even saying, man? Anyway, when the drought starts and all this water in this column is gone, then we can build this the way that it's supposed to be built and have it come over to the corner of this reservoir, drop down from whatever height it's supposed to be, and that's it. That will be it. We don't have to worry about it, quote-unquote, ever again. And then this can go away, which then means we can put all the terrain in here that's supposed to be in here and blast all the different levels out. That's probably going to be time-lapsed. I know. But it's going to be okay. We have to believe that it's going to be okay, or that's not going to happen. So, we've moved most of this stuff, minus the food, moved most of it out. Food is going to be tricky, because I kind of feel like it's going to have to be separated from the industrial bits in a way that is probably going to be too confusing for me to try to figure out on my own while I am recording a video. So we might leave that alone. But if we can get rid of everything in the center here before we get too far into the rest of this episode, then we can start building the rest of the terrain, minus the bits for the food, which is over here all the way in this corner, and we'll be okay. That's my goal. One of my goals. You know what I should have done? Is I should have, instead of building all of these woodwork shops, I should have put in dynamite stuff, but I don't have space. What a mess. What a mess. Well, regardless, we know this can be gone. We know this can be gone. We know the metal can be gone. We know this can be gone, which means that can be gone. Honestly, I can probably sometime soon start getting rid of the dirt excavators if we have enough storage for dirt. Which, I know, adding more and more stuff to an already pretty overwhelmed... That's the wrong direction. Pretty overwhelmed construction schedule probably is not the right spot. Did that actually lag into the correct place? Wow. Good job. Anyway, I'm putting in 6 of these. Oh, that's a mess. I can't look at that. Okay, let's hit pause. I know. I'm sure your playthrough of this will be better. Please let me know how it goes. Otherwise, just bear with me here. We'll just get all of these set up. I know we have to put in some additional platforms here. But having probably 4,000 or 5,000 dirt is about what we need, ideally. This doesn't need to be paused still. I'll just put in this bit here. I probably should have put in zipline stations, but zipline stations, 2 ways. See, this is what happens when you have to be an adult and do things that aren't make YouTube videos all day. Your brain gets tired, and then it's time to do quote-unquote your real job, which I guess at this point is this, and then it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. The brain, not me. I love playing with the beavers. But sometimes when math is involved, it just doesn't go well. It goes very poorly. So, now we are at the end of the pre-drought. We're about to be the drought. We're going to get this set up. We are going to have to, depending on how this gets built, we're going to have to get rid of some of these tubeways. I'm going to try to minimize that. But it's going to be a thing. Might have to be figured out. 28-day drought. Oh boy. Well, we have 130 beavers. They consume 2.122 water per day, or 121 water per day. So let's conservatively we'll call it just 2 for simple math and just know we're on the low end. 260 water per day. 10 days, 2,600 water. 20 days, double that, so on and so forth. We're not even at 20 days, and we have 28 days. So we know they can continue pumping, and they will. These are all unpaused, so that should not be an issue. But we have 28 days, and none of this water that is currently in this thing is going to go anywhere even remotely into this reservoir. Well, look how quickly they pumped this out. That is mildly terrifying. Anyway, point being, it is time now to get rid of that, which is going to spill a little bit of water. Maybe some of it makes its way in there. That's fine. That's the way it goes. This goes away. If we are careful, maybe it's possible to gently encourage some of this to flow. Oh, look at that. Some of it actually is flowing into there. I'm not a genius, but sometimes I have these moments where there's a glimmer of hope. maybe this thing is working correctly after all. So we'll just take this out in chunks as we have the ability to. Try to save as much water as we can, because I know we don't want it to splash out of the side here. So the rest of what has to be built up requires access from tubeways that we unfortunately are going to have things be in the way of here. These 4 spots are going to have to be filled in. We need an overflow out of this temporary half-size reservoir that may or may not end up being expanded higher. It may or may not be expanded lower at some point. And we have to decide where that overflow is going to go. Probably makes the most sense to send it out this way, just straight off the side of the map, which, for how this is set up now, is going to be pretty simple. If it's going off the edge of the map and there's no falling involved, then a single wide thing is probably going to be fine. So let's preemptively, just because it's easier to build because I have these tanks here, let's just say that is going to be that one, and that is going to be a dam. What that's going to allow us to do is come in here, right behind it, with, okay, these may actually need to be removed. We're gonna see here in a second. We are gonna see here in a second. That has to be actually one below that. I'm figuring this out in real time. Please be patient with me. Please. That will go there, which means that can just right underneath all of these. I say as I put them in the exact wrong spots. Good job. Oh, I know how that happened. Okay. Goes there. That goes here, here, and here. Then that will be impermeable floor all the way to the edge. And then I will have to have, unfortunately, these tubeways removed. But this isn't going to overflow for at least another 27.5 days. And realistically, it's another 30 or 40. Well, we're not going to have 40, but do as I say, not as I do. We can build all of the rest of this that isn't going to be obstructed in the meantime and be fine. The rest can just be popped in as we remove the rest of these tubes. And the only reason this is still in here is because we have to fill this dirt back in once we have the ability to do that. So this will get a little bit more water back into here. I know it's not much, it's only 1 square, but doing it in a way that is, you know, controlled probably makes more sense anyhow, so it doesn't flow off the side of the map. This won't take much longer. We can do this on triple speed. Okay, that should be the rest of it. That's gone. Why did that not go? Ah, that's why. So, now that all of this is completely removed, that's a big step getting rid of that. But look at what we have here. Okay, this is staying. Obviously, that has to stay there. I think I can safely put this in as, yeah. What in the heck are you talking about? Look, it's fine. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. This right here, another level of levees. Again, just because this is how this has been set up. And then this can all be terrain up to the maximum height. And then from here, again, I don't want to get rid of this unless until I have to. This goes up to here, which means I can go a little bit higher. So, I have 2 options here. I can have this, oh, this wasn't even going all the way up to the top of the map. I can go this way, or I can go this way and then this way. I think this way is going to be a little bit less disruptive to what we're trying to do here. So, same kind of principle applies here, that applies here, and applies with this. We are going to have no problem with falling water until it goes into the reservoir. So if we just have single go this way and then go that way, then at the end we can just fan it out for its required 3 edges. Bear with me, folks. I know it's frustrating. Gonna be okay. Gonna be fine. Let's get that up that way, get that up that way. Again, as many pieces as we possibly can before this becomes a problem. And now, all I have to do is have something go out this way to carry it here and then make this turn. That is going to be, because it's going to come off of this, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 tiles this way, minimum. And then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, technically 7 tiles this way minimum, and then we'll need our 3 edges, so it's probably actually 8. I think this is doable with only a single, we'll call it stupid tower. So if I go, again, pausing this so that my brain can actually concentrate. Take this all the way up. This is the maximum height it's going to get to. We want to build with the maximum height in mind. If this gets a 3x3 platform, then it can be that high, but I don't have enough reach to get the rest of the way there, so taking this down to a 2, and then from there putting in the 3x3, and then extending with the 6x here will get me almost all the way to this corner. If I put a 3x here, that will actually get me directly... Okay, you know what? See, but then this is directly in the way. I was trying to avoid that. Well, you know, if it's ugly and you guys hate it that much, I can just tear it out and redo it. Oh, that can't go here. What am I doing, man? That can't go here. It's going to block our progress. That's super not allowed. All right. New idea. No, that's not going to work either. Okay. New idea. This moves here. And then, from that point... Okay, I needed one more of these. Sheesh. No, that goes there. Because this... Eventually, this tile here... I'm so sorry. This tile here will be the edge of this output here. This means I need to have this and this set up like so. Then from here, that goes like that. That goes like that. That goes like that. This brings us to here, where I can build from this spot. I promise you this is going to make sense, and you're going to be like, oh. At some point. All right. I'm trying to minimize the impact on the terrain right there. Okay. This here is going to get me into the reservoir and is going to give me all of my edges. All right. Isn't math fun? Isn't it just a delight? An absolute joy. Okay. Now that I have committed math, we need to have access to build all of this stuff. So that's going to get me to there. This doesn't need to be a tube-way station, just needs to be a tube-way. This actually can be... Oh, that's the maximum height on the map, of course. That means... Okay, good. Good. Okay, I'll be able to build that from the inside. Don't overthink this. Yeah. Okay. That's going to work. That's fine. That'll allow them to build this, and then I need to do the same thing in one more spot. Bear with me, folks. I know. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Alright. They can build everything except this bit here from inside these tubeways. So to accommodate that... Okay, that's going to have to be moved. That is... That's right there. This goes to a vertical. That will allow them to build the rest of that. And this is also going to need to... Is this directly adjacent? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. All of that just to get the rest of this taken care of with minimal disruptions everywhere else. I told you this was going to be complicated. How far are we down here? Okay, that's not a problem yet, but it will be soon. Okay, we're looking all right. You know, not amazing, fantastic, but we are looking all right. We're making good progress there. This is fine. We have additional dirt storage, 3440. That's a lot better than where we were. We were almost an hour into this, and I still haven't time-lapsed at all. Okay, this is... oh, boy. Well, this shouldn't take a super incredibly long time to build. We just need to do it. Okay, that's fine there. Oh, you know what I realized? This has to have a wall on the side. That's gonna be a... wait, no, it won't. You know why it won't? Because I have this. That will serve as wall, which means I can then have this spread out here. Yeah, okay. Look at this. Look at this. Look at us go. So that's 2 edges. Ah, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. That goes right there. I am 99% sure this will work. Obviously, we have to remove these and then replace whatever. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. We've got 24.5 days. They should be able to build the rest of this. As soon as the sucking stops here, we can take... well, that was a bad way to word that. We can start tearing this down. We have enough time where it's not going to be a problem. This is mostly taken care of. Once the terrain is done here, these crane bits can go away, which will allow us to finish this and allow us to finish this. And we're going to be good. I think we'll have to wait till the dawn of the next day to see if these are actually able to be removed. But wait, no, they totally can be. Totally can be, because this is no longer underwater, right? The tips. Well, regardless, the ones down there can now actually get in. I don't think it's going to be an issue. All right, decisions made. Easiest option here is just get... I am so afraid of bulk delete. Okay, that will be done there. That will be done there. Can't get rid of that because that's... they're walking on it. That... wait, no, I can just have them go around the outside. Nope. I can't do that. Can't do that. Not yet. Okay, that's gone. That's gone. Trying not to remove too much structure here. Okay, we can go all the way down to here on the outside. That's good. This is technically not structural anymore, so that's fine. This is also not structural. Probably never was. This can go away. But this is still an access route, so we know that's not going to be viable. But what we can do, while we still have access to all this stuff, is put in pieces just as best as we can. Wait, that's not where that goes. Why the heck did... okay, never mind. Boy. You know, sometimes I regret not editing these videos because it makes me look really stupid sometimes, but I'm kind of glad I don't, because I think it's really important people understand just how easy it is to make stupid mistakes in this game. And hopefully you're not as hard on yourself as I am here. This, I forgot, was not supposed to be here. That needs to be removed. Instead, I need to maybe worry about blasting this entire bottom level out later. And instead, I can take this layer out now. Yeah, they're just going to take a little bit longer to pump most of the rest of this out. I would love to be able to just swap these over to dirt, but that's not the way it goes, unfortunately. So, seeing that, I was trying not to time-lapse this because, you know You know how quickly stuff goes by when you time-lapse and then you have to move the cameras around. It's bad stuff, but we're at 55 minutes and 60 seconds, or 56 minutes if you want to be pedantic about it. And I can't do this without time-lapsing it. So let's get that done. We're going to try, hopefully, and get the rest of this aqueduct, whatever, constructed if we can. We do still have kind of a limited amount of wood to build, and I would like to avoid running out. But I'm going to have them build as much as they can. They're going to keep pumping stuff out. Then we can start filling in the dirt, and then once that's done, we'll be able to finish the temporary reservoir. I say temporary because it's not the full height, and it's not going to be the full size either. But we'll be able to finish that out. We'll take the unneeded cranes, or the cranes that are in the way, out, and move on from there. I don't know if that's going to be the end of the episode or not. I would love to get as much of this done as I can, but I'm not going to rush through it just to have it finished. And I'm not going to drag the episode out to an hour and a half just to have all of that done in one episode. So, we're about to find, or you're about to find out, and I'm about to find out at the same time because I haven't done it yet, but we're going to see how much they were able to get done and if this is going to be possible in the rest of this drought. Alright, so I've done about as much as I can without taking this off a time-lapse, so let's go ahead and do that. We've removed just about everything. I couldn't quite get at everything without moving the camera too much, so that is why this has been left to this state here. But with that taken out, we have now removed essentially everything, minus, you know, all this mess below here, which probably is safe to come out now. Yep, okay. Just want to be real careful here. If we see any... Oh, see that right there? That's a problem. If you see anything that is not planks, you know you're in trouble. So that's gone there. I know there's still plenty more that needs to come out, but for the time being, just trying to do the best that I can without making it super crazy. I know there's a huge mess on the ground. You guys are going to love that. But now we take this all the way up. We have a big blank empty space that must be terraformed. And I did do a little bit of that to the degree that I was able to. And I think we're going to be okay once I have the rest of this out. It's going to be a process to get the rest of this blasted out. We already know. But I am pretty confident I can do most of the rest of this today without there being a whole lot of weeping or gnashing of teeth. So, you know the drill. Let's come down here and lay out our columns as they have been prescribed. I guess I will start right here. This is 3746. So this one can come all the way up. Good, that is the correct spot. It gets a little dicey because we had this is so hard to see from this angle. We have this floor put in place that is oh, that's not even the right thing at all. Okay, well we'll put the rest of the columns and then we'll just dynamite the heck out of this. How about that? So that's done there. Next one is going to be 2946. All the way up to here. That is 2946. See, this is why I haven't taken these. I don't know why you guys call them cranes, but I kind of like that. Okay. 3343 is up next. Okay, and then coming down again from there, we have these double bits here, 25 and 2443. That's already taken care of. Good to know. This is 2940. Okay. All the way up. Alright, and then we should have this one here. Yep. 3740. I don't think that's going to be a problem because it should already be in, and it is. So, yeah, that's all of our columns that we need. Those will have to get put in place. We do have 2,800 dirt. That is very good to see. And in 14 days, we're not going to have any problem with 5,800 water. But while they're working on building that stuff with this in triple speed, we can talk about our little filling up station here. I did catch a few problems during the time lapse, but I did fix those. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 edges for this to come through. That should be no problem. This is completely done, but this bit here has not yet been finished, and that's going to be a problem depending on how we want to have this built. So what we're going to need to do is all of this has to go away, which is going to create an interesting challenge for us to solve in building the rest of this, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. We're going to see. I don't think this might end up spilling. If I built this one level lower, I could have put a cap on it. As I will demonstrate, I can't actually build one on the top here because that's the top of the map. But I think with the right outflow here, it shouldn't back up that much. I'm going to wait until we have all the terrain in place here, which we may or may not be able to do in the next 13 days. If that's the case, we'll just have to suffer through the less fun way of accomplishing things. But now that I know this bottom bit here is actually taken care of correctly, all of this here has to be demolished. Any surface we can actually put something on. And by something, I mean dynamite. And I don't really care to waste whatever, so it's all going to be triples. That's fine. This is a ladder. Okay, that doesn't actually go anywhere, but it's underneath that. That can go away. That's fine. It's all supported. We're going to have... Okay, because this is a pylon here. There we go. Just trying not to make easily preventable mistakes. I mean, sometimes they're fun, but no. I'm just going to clear blast this all the way out because it has to be at the correct level anyway. Then we'll get that filled in, whatever they're able to do, and blast it away. But regarding all of this stuff here, unfortunately, this entire thing has to go away because that's how it is. So we're going to have to, I think I can get away taking... Oh, that's still part of the overhang. Sheesh. Somebody didn't think too hard when they made this, I guess. See, I hate to just be dumb about how to solve this, but this is unfortunately going to end up being probably the easiest way to do this, just putting in some of these guys here. So that will end up being that'll end up being a whole thing. But then that'll allow them to build this bit, which means I can take these other ones out. I don't need to have these guys here because there's no more terrain happening, and they can build from the ground level. But this is the vertical connection all the way down to... Wait, I don't need this either. Oh, okay, well that's going to be an easy-ish problem to solve. So much to do. I really should not try to cram all this into one episode, but you know how it goes. The content machine demands content. Okay, so that is just about all of that I can reasonably remove. And now, because this is up, because this is the next level I have to work on, we get to do our favorite thing, which is try to remember what level to actually build on, and I can just zoom in to help with that. Yeah, this is very complicated. The way that I ended up, you know, doing this whole thing probably was not the most intelligent. But we're having fun and learning along the way, and that's what matters. That's the wrong spot. Can this go away? No, don't put that there. I need to have this structure in place so they can actually finish this. I know there's mess on the ground. It's going to be okay. Just close your eyes. It's going to be fine. Alright, get that thing finished here. This can fill in all of that just fine. Oh, come on, click. Thank you. Will this click here? Okay. You get that in, then we are getting closer and closer to this national nightmare being concluded. Probably not going to be able to finish this in one episode, huh? Well, sheesh. Overpromise, underdeliver, not underpromise, overdeliver, you idiot. Okay, so this has to go out here. This is the one that has to leave. That has to leave. Now, because they are here... Oh, how I wish I would have done this slightly more intelligently. I could have just had one of these and they can just walk up to it instead of... Okay, whatever. Alright, so this is how we're going to solve this problem. I'm going to put all the rest of these in here. We know this is not a thing that needs to exist for the rest of our purposes. So that means this whole thing can go away. And we just lose that vertical link that no one's using anyway. I guess that is fine. I also, like an absolute fool, told somebody in the comments that we're going to do a little bit of cleaning up of messes today. And that has not happened, and now I feel kind of bad. But that is going to be really satisfying to get that removed, and we can put all of the put all that stuff in there. Also, this this ladder here does not need to be a thing. That can safely go away. We're not even using this. Goodbye. We'll fix all those holes at some point. Please do not let me forget in the comments. But now we have a space. Once we, you know, get rid of this. Oh! That was a choice that was made. Okay, we can solve this. We can solve this. Let's put in right here. Boy, it's going to be two back-to-back episodes of I can't believe how stupid you are playing this, guaranteed. This will solve this problem. Take that there. Because there is a station at the very bottom there that will connect. Not optimally, but it will connect. And then I can actually get all of this put in place. You know, I actually didn't need to have all of these things popped in here. I super did not. Look at all this mess on the ground. Don't you love it? Don't you just absolutely love it? Alright, that is... Well, none of it's connected anywhere here, but I'm pretty sure they can build all of that. Be fine. Now, I am aware that this is left uncovered for terrain distribution. And we have the beautiful, wonderful, amazing ability to just not worry about it. And pop these in as bridges. Replace them with those little two-way stations, and that will help. What? How did this get built before? Oh, come on. That is annoying, because now I have to blow this up and do it again. Ugh. That's why you build one level at a time, folks. I say as I completely ignore my own device. Well. At any rate, we are finally getting to this part that I thought we were going to get to in, well, I don't know, episode like 10. This is episode 28, I think, last time I checked. Things take time, folks. It is a very, and I mean very slow process to get all of this popped in correctly in a way that's not going to kill or flood beavers. I say as I definitely have very much killed and or flooded beavers in this playthrough. But, you know, it is what it is. And the sooner you come to terms with accepting that, then the better off you are going to be. Now, let's make this a little bit easier and move all of that garbage. Not that way. Not that way, you bumbling idiot. Okay, not that way either, but I guess they can still reach that. Move all of these to the very end, where it is next to one of those two ways they can grab from. This episode's going to be like an hour and a half long, and people are going to be angry. But that's fine. We have to get this done. This overflow is good to go, unless I have made a terrible miscalculation, at which point I will find out when the time comes. Now all we have to do in the next 7.2 days is finish this mess here, which is going to require that all of this goes away, which is why I wanted to get the terrain in place before it was an issue. So, at risk of, you know, causing another incident here, I'm going to just put this in, and I'm going to time-lapse it, because that is the best way I know of to actually get stuff accomplished without subjecting you guys to a whole lot of incoherent rambling while things get vaguely, half-correctly done. So, we're going to get the rest of this land put in, and then hopefully by the end of that, we're not in the temperate cycle yet. because it's going to take a little bit of time to build the rest of our little diversion thing. If it looks like it's not going to make it, then I'll stop and then we'll talk about it. But otherwise, the next thing you see should be the start of the temperate season and our reservoir starting to fill up perfectly. I know there's other stuff to get done too. Don't worry, we'll get there. I know what you're saying. You don't have any pumps yet. We're going to have pumps. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Just trust the process, folks. We'll be fine. All right, so that kind of went terribly. However, we are only 2 things away from having this completely ready to go to a certain extent and not the height I wanted it to. So there's going to be some flooding. We're just going to have to accept it. It's going to be okay. We have I'm saying that for me as much as that I am for you. We have 3,100 water here, and suffice to say, things could have been managed a whole lot better because we're going to be placed in a situation pretty quickly where we're going to have to remove these guys. Flame me all you want. I am an adult. I can handle it after I go cry in the corner. But we should pretty quick here see that nice clean water rise up, if I can remember which way is not hiding it. And all of this is in place. Let's hit pause because we very much are going to be in some trouble here. But this is eventually going to go up. I think it is. It's going up. It's going up. So we have a little bit of time. But this will come all the way up here. Come over here, spill into this area that now needs to have a rather rapid increase in the height of 4 or 5 different spots. But it's not all doom and gloom. We can rebuild it. We're just going to lose a rather substantial bit of connectivity here in the name of making stuff possible. So I will fully admit this has been handled incredibly poorly. I am willing to accept that as my responsibility here, but I think this was necessary to get this actually finished today. We're gonna... Oh boy, that hurts. That hurts to get all of that out of there. But now what we can do is we can pop this in here. And that in there. And that will... I know this is all disconnected. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. It's going to be okay. Just trust me here for a moment. I know that might be hard, but it's going to be fine. We have to reconnect all this stuff. I know I took the things out, but it's going to be okay. Now we have this giant space. The game is still paused intentionally, yes. This will not fill up for maybe another half a day, or start filling up for maybe another half a day. And I built it this high specifically so that I could put the deep water pumps in and have them go all the way down. Since water storage, most of it at least, is right here, I thought it would be smart to have most of the pumps accessible into this area. We already have 2 buoys right here that we could pretty easily, since, you know, this no longer has to be a thing, for the sake of actually, you know, making it possible for these beavers to survive. Let's take that out. Let's put that there. Let's put this all the way across here. Because as soon as we reconnect all of our stuff up here, they can start building this. Let's just lay this out. I think it's going to be faster to put in probably just these regular platforms. I know that's not the sexy answer you guys want to see. But I'm going to build these one at a time so we can actually pump. Just put that there. I know. If you're still watching this and you haven't rage quit, I want you to know that I appreciate you beyond measure, and I'm so grateful we get to spend this time together. It's a big ask. It is a big ask to tolerate all of this kind of nonsense here, but we will be better off for it. We will be so much more better off for it than the old setup. So this will get us to 6 of these pumps. That is survival mode. After that point, we can start messing with other stuff, but these won't be built until they've regained access down here. Easiest thing for us to do to be able to accomplish that is to come off of the end, of this guy right here. I know this is going to seem kind of stupid, but bear with me here. Going to put that here. Did I? Oh, I absolutely screwed the pooch on this. All right. Never mind. Never mind. Do as I say, not as I do. In some cases, do neither what I say nor what I do. This is going to be very interesting. But that will connect there. That'll get this popped in over to here. Boy. It's a mess, but it's our mess. And it's going to be possible to actually get this done before the end of our temperate cycle. But this is going to hold a lot more water than what we had before. Once it's done, I know this is not fully, completely done. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Just trust the process. Even if you don't want to, it's going to be okay. That's done there. These still work. So what's going to be, I think, the best option here is to come out to the end, and then because this lines up so closely with these things here, all I have to do to build the rest of this is to pop in a couple of these guys. I know this is kind of in like the most inconvenient place possible for this, but just pop this in here. Pop this in here. They can stand on top of this and finish all of these, probably roughly at the same time. But they are going to have these here. That's going to go there. So the back side of this, at the very least, can all be finished at once. This can easily be finished with the help of a single tiny tubeway station. So I'm going to put one here, and then I'm going to put one here, so they can kind of, you know, do all of it at once. That's going to get this taken care of. I think it's going to be fine. Shouldn't be an issue. Of course, this one still has to build all the way up from there. All right, so they're going to take care of that. I know it's just, yeah, it's fine. You're also, I'm sure, I am absolutely certain a lot of you caught this already. But yes, the population declined because I paused all of those pumps and sarcastically said, oh, hey, cool, this works. Sarcastically said, yeah, that's not going to be a problem, because I thought that would be funny, and then I actually did for not the pumps. You know what I'm talking about. These things. And then I said I was going to fix it, and then I didn't fix it, and then I really didn't fix it, and then I looked over and there was like 79 beavers. Like, that's a problem. And we were understaffed. Anyway, it's fine. Who's stranded? What the heck? Where is this? Where are you? Oh, I have Unstuckify. That's right. I can just Unstuckify you. There you go. So yeah, that's getting fixed. This is filling up, and predictably has already caused flooding here. So let's expedite this if we can, please and thank you. Because that's causing a whole lot more flooding than I wanted it to. My God. Well, if this was something you paid for, this is where I would offer a refund. Fortunately, the videos are free. Fortunately for me, at least. But I digress. We are still looking pretty okay. We just have to, you know, swallow our pride a little bit. Or I do. I don't know. You probably think this is hilarious. Just have to get this done and move on from there. Oh, these geniuses built this so they couldn't get in here to... Oh, come on. All right, how the heck did I do this to myself? They don't have metal blocks. No, the video did not break. I'm just dumbstruck by the sheer stupidity I have wrought upon myself here. I stranded all the material. Oh my God, I hate this so much. I stranded all the materials up here. I'm gonna build two-way stations. Stupid idiot. It's not gonna work. You don't have any metal. Oh God. Okay. Do I have plank storage down low? I do. I have log storage down low. Okay, we can... man. we can solve this. Stop trying to do too much stuff in one episode. It's bad. It's bad. I hear you. I know. One short of that thing. We can replace these with ladders. I guess it's fine, because now we have to have this done first. Oh, God. All right. What's that Serenity Now thing? Yeah, so, this happened. Misplace your zeal, and you're going to find out real quick just how bad things can be. But they'll, I guess, continue working on this. They'll get the rest of this popped in place. But none of that is super exciting to watch, so I will just go ahead and take these moments to say thank you so much for watching. I know this is... yeah, it is what it is. But, what have I always said? It's the authentic experience of playing the game, warts and all. And if I ever deleted this, I know you guys would never forgive me. Because you want to see all this nonsense. So, that's what it is. But it truly is not possible without your support. Regardless of whether or not I deserve it. And the beard boosters who subsidize all of this insanity and make it possible to do the super long, complicated, probably too difficult for me to figure out puzzles that make for interesting viewing, and I really do appreciate that, so I don't have to go chase the algorithm or take on sponsors for stuff people don't want. It's just fun this way. Even when it's not fun, it's still fun. So, I don't know, you guys are probably having a great time watching this nonsense unfold, but it is substantially stressing me out at this point, and I'm going to have to figure out something else to do today to take my mind off this. But I will deliver what I have promised to you, and that is the authentic experience of playing the game. All the bad stuff included. But they're about to get this reconnected. These beavers on 24-hour working because I forgot to... I'm trying to do way too much with this, I swear. I can't keep up with this anymore. I need to stop trying to record these videos after I spend a whole day doing other stuff. I need to get these done a couple days before I have to do all this other nonsense. But they're going to come and finish this whenever they decide to stop sleeping. And now everything's connected again. And now we're not going to have any more problems ever for the rest of time, because that's how it works. At least this can be done now. And they can come in here and start building all of this. And it will be fine. There will be no problems. Ever, 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 ever again. All that being considered, it could have gone a whole lot worse. It absolutely could have gone a whole lot worse. We still have tons of food. We still have a decent amount of water, even if we're not pumping it right this very moment. We're about ready to actually do it, and it's close to where we're doing storage. And I can have these things built as well, and they can still come in here and get stuff done. Boy. It's fine. It's fine. I have to keep telling myself it's fine or it's not going to be fine. But we have these 6 here. And that's going to have to be good enough. So before we're done, I will, for the sake of all of our collective sanity, just pop in the other bank of 6 so we can at the very least have what we had before I demolished everything, plus one more. And then, you know, that's going to have to be it. Super suboptimal. Many mistakes were made. However, we now have this. It is full. It is not flooding the rest of the map. It is now going off the side, and everything will recover once the back and the bottom and all that drain out. Oh, that's it, folks. Thanks for suffering through this. It's going to get better, I promise. I can't tell you when that's going to be. But we have somehow managed to get this going, and I think I might have messed up the cycle links again, because that day 5 should have been a drought warning. Wait, no, day 6. Day 6 would be the drought warning for the maximum length. I guess it's fine. I don't know. My brain's shut off like an hour ago into recording this. This is another one of the super long, super involved recording things. I'm going to go, I don't even know, figure my life out, go stare at the wall for 5 hours, and then come back to this later. But I really do appreciate you guys supporting this series and the channel and making it possible to make the honest mistakes and sometimes the dishonest ones born by, you know, not having any clues going on. There we go. Bad tide coming in 3 days. We'll see you next time. Take care. Please come back and watch the next video, please. We'll see you later. Goodbye.